To succeed as a personal brand right now, you need a niche. You do. Don't argue with me. You just do. And it pains me because, in my experience, having worked with over 2,000 people creating their courses and programs, it is the one thing that people will fight tooth and nail against doing. They fear that it will pigeonhole them. They fear that it will cap their earning potential. And they fear that it will trap them in golden niche handcuffs for the rest of their days, which is the idea of hell for their multi passionate little souls. Here is the cold, hard truth, though. The fact that you are multi passionate and you're interested in lots of different things is absolutely amazing, and it should be celebrated and it should be encouraged. But when it comes to business on the internet, the cold hard truth is that people don't care about you. They care about two things. They care about their problems and they care about how effectively you can solve their problems. And if you can't do both of those things in a very specific way that is tailored to them, they're never going to do business with you. And so, to succeed as a personal brand and fulfill all of your creative whims, to get paid to work from anywhere like a lovely little cafe in Matura, you need to know how and where to position your personal brand for maximum impact and how to niche yourself so that you are talking specifically to one person, solving their problems, and therefore they're going to want to pay you. And that's how it works. The good news is that I know how to do that, and I have taught thousands of people how to do exactly that. And so, in this particular episode, and over a series of 4 episodes, I'm going to be showing you how to set a personal brand up for big fun, big money, big success, step by step. And just so you know, this particular series has also been posted over on my Substack and it has popped off. So lean in, you are in for a treat. I'm going to link the Substack as well if you want to read the blog post version of this series of posts over there as well. So in part 1 of this series, I am focusing on a little concept called projects, and I have named this particular part of the series, Don't Build Businesses, Build Projects, for that reason. Now, what am I even talking about? What do I mean? So I want to start by being really clear that a personal brand-based business is very different, if you haven't noticed, from a traditional business. And honestly, thank God for that. I don't feel like grinding it out for the next 20 years to increase my EBITDA only to end up feeling zapped and trapped and needing a nap and missing every single one of my kids' events over the 12 years that they're at school so that I can make a little bit of money and exit for multiples at the end of the day. That is not my idea of a good time, and that is why I love a personal brand-based business. Happily, the very essence of a personal brand-based business is the complete opposite of that. And so it requires a completely different approach to business. Whereas with a traditional business, the business and the brand are one and the same, with a personal brand-based business, the brand and the business are two very different things. With a personal brand-based business, your personal brand will fuel the business, but the two are not one and the same. There can be a really big difference between who you are as a person and who you are as a personal brand. The former is you as a human, and the latter is your personal brand. Every single person walking around on the planet has both. They have them as a person and they have their personal brand. And even if they don't intentionally design their personal brand, it happens by default. They have one, they just haven't been intentional about what it includes and what it actually has. Now, if you are running a personal brand-based business, I don't think I need to say this, it's pretty obvious, but not intentionally defining your personal brand is a big no-no. Right now, your personal brand is one of the biggest superpowers that you have in business. It is all of the unique attributes and identifiers and themes that make you you. And ultimately, that will either attract some people to you, which is incredible, and also repel some people away from you, which is not a bad thing either. But here is the biggest and most important nuance between a personal brand-based business and a traditional business. With a personal brand-based business, those unique identifiers and attributes don't actually need to be confined to just one thing. So you don't need to become a niche. Instead, your personal brand, if you set it up the right way, should and can be capable of feeding and fueling multiple different and distinct niches if you want it to. Now, I'm going to put up a little visual here, and if you're not watching on YouTube, come and subscribe on my YouTube channel so that you can see the visuals of this particular episode. Your personal brand can and should actually be set up to feed and fuel multiple different and distinct niches. So that is completely different to a traditional business, where with a traditional business, there is the business, and then the business has a niche, and then underneath that are all of the products within the business. Now, the business having a niche, it kind of comes from the top, means that the business becomes known for one thing, and that then becomes its superpower and the thing that sets it apart. With a personal brand based business, it doesn't flow as simply as that. With a personal brand based business, it starts from the top. So it starts with you. Now, you are a human that is multifaceted, that has lots of different interests and, things that comprise you as a person. The really important thing to understand as far as a personal brand-based business goes, though, is that you are not the personal brand. And that is going to be a very important thing, nuance to keep in mind, that is going to serve you and ultimately your mental health. Now, when it comes to the next pillar, there are some of those facets of you that you are going to intentionally incorporate into your personal brand, but there are many, likely most of those things you won't, and that is the point. Now, secondly, layered underneath you is your personal brand, and this is a thing that you want to intentionally engineer and become clear on what it actually is. You're going to pick a few different attributes that make you you, but you're going to highlight them as part of your personal brand. Now, you might choose one thing. For example, I'm a mother. I might choose to amplify that, and that becomes the one pillar of my personal brand. It doesn't really matter how many you have. It is just going to be a smorgasbord, or maybe just more a limited menu of the things that you're going to highlight as the attributes that make up your personal brand. Now, one thing to keep in mind here with your personal brand is that these things don't actually need to go together. So, for example, I might have motherhood as one attribute, and then I might also have being a millennial, right? They're completely two different things, but it's actually the magic of those two things fusing together that is going to become the attractor or the repellent that is going to draw people to you or repel them away to someone else. And thirdly, there are your business interests. So, your business interests are what I call projects, and they should feel fun and exciting. It's where you take one or more of the things that you want to be known for and you create a little project underneath it. Now, each project is not going to be named under your personal brand. So for me, it's not going to be named Stevie, right? It is actually going to have its own name. It is going to have its own product or product suite. It is going to have its own marketing channel or marketing channels, and it is going to be its own separate and distinct little entity. Now, how is this not a business? Well, it is a business. Businesses are entities that make money. But the difference is that under a personal brand, you can have these like really tight defined little projects where, for example, you might have a website that then has a podcast attached to it and then has one product attached to that. And that becomes a little personal brand based project that under the personal brand, it is fueled by the personal brand, but it is not the personal brand in and of itself. Now, it is at this project level that you are setting the niche. So see how with a business, the business is the niche and you're kind of like restricted there. You can't go anywhere else. But when you have a personal brand, you can intentionally be defining the things that you're known for. And then you can have one or more projects underneath that are little entities that make money for you and that you can use to amplify your personal brand, and that is fueled by your personal brand as well. Now, for every project that you start underneath your personal brand, the niche is set at the project level. So I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to use a celebrity that we all know, which is Gwyneth Paltrow. So Gwyneth Paltrow, I think we can all agree, has a pretty strong personal brand, right? And one of the things that she is known for is wellness. And so under that is this project, which is Goop, that has obviously become a big conglomerate, but it is a good example of a project nested underneath the personal brand. Now, what else does Gwyneth Paltrow want to be known for? Well, of course, there is acting and her acting interests. But from a business perspective, she might, for example, want to be known for, I don't think she does, but she kind of is known for this, conscious uncoupling. And so she could have under her personal brand something that she's known for being conscious uncoupling. And she could start a project called the Conscious Uncoupling Company. And she could have that as a project that is nested under her personal brand, but that isn't niched at the personal brand level. It is niched a level underneath. It is one of multiple things that she is known for. Now, another example is yours truly. So I have a personal brand. At the moment, I only have one project. So my project is Lifestyle Business School. That is one of the things that I'm known for, lifestyle business. And under that particular project, I have a website, I have a podcast, I have a product, I have a social media channel, and they are all branded Lifestyle Business School. Now, that is not the only thing that my personal brand is known for, though. I have intentionally decided to amplify other elements of my personal brand. So, an example of one of the elements that I amplify is motherhood. Now, I don't have a project underneath the kind of like motherhood bucket, but I could if I ever wanted to. Now, another thing that I'm known for is, being a millennial, or I could decide that I wanted to highlight that in the future. Another thing that's completely unrelated might be skincare, right? So I might have decided that I have these 4 pillars being the things that I am known for. At the moment, I only have a project under one of them being Lifestyle Business School, but that doesn't mean that in the future I couldn't create something under one of the other pillars, a project, and it wouldn't be weird, right? Unlike something like Nike, which is a business and the business is the brand and they are known for, sporting goods. Imagine them starting a skincare project. They would never do it right. And that is because they are a traditional business. And in a traditional business, the niche is nested and is part of the brand. The business and the brand are one and the same. For me, I could decide that I want to start a skincare project and I might start a skincare blog. And then from that, I might decide to get brand deals. And that could be a completely separate and distinct entity from Lifestyle Business School. Now, there's a couple of different things here. First and foremost is the fact that the other things that I am known for, even though I don't have projects for those things yet, can amplify the one project that I do have by providing a ecosystem that defines me, the personal brand, that will attract some people to me and repel other people away from me. So, for example, I talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship as part of my Lifestyle Business School project, because motherhood is one of the things that I am known for. Now, of course, that is going to attract some people to me because they're like, great, I identify with that. That is similar to me. And it is going to repel other people away from me as well. And that is totally fine because they'll go to someone who has a personal brand that they are more aligned with. Now, the other thing to keep in mind here as well is that I have very intentionally not branded my Lifestyle Business School project with my name. Now, the reason for this is that if I ever do want to create another project, for example, a skincare project or, something to do with motherhood or something else that I'm known for, it's not going to get confusing if, for example, somebody Googles me, they search my name, and then there's competing subject matters coming up. This is the danger of leading with your name or leading with the personal brand. What you actually want to have is different branded projects fueled by and nested underneath your personal brand that people can be searching for that are completely different kind of subject matters and elements of things that you are known for, but that are fueled by your personal brand. So I hope that that explanation of the personal brand hierarchy and the power of a personal brand is enlightening to you. I think that it is one of those concepts that once you understand how it all works, can kind of take those golden niche handcuffs off, and it can make business fun and exciting again. The superpower with these personal brand-based businesses is that we are somebody that has these beautiful interests and skills and things that make us unique. We can choose to amplify those different skill sets or things that make us unique or those attributes that make us us. And then we can go through, and unlike a traditional business, we can have one niche and you need to talk about that thing forever. We can create more than one project. I recommend starting with one to begin with, but over time, you can create more than one if you want to. Projects nested underneath that personal brand, fueled by that personal brand, but different entities. And the magic of it as well is that those projects don't need to be big and hefty, and they don't need to be big traditional businesses. Instead, they can be small and simple and lean little lifestyle businesses where, they have a website, they have one content channel like a podcast, and then they have one product. And then you're focused just on growing those three different elements. And that gives you the time and the space and the bandwidth to eventually, if you want to, honor all of the other beautiful little interests you have and play with something else as well. So that is part 1 in this series on how to set a personal brand business up for big success. The next question you may have, and the next addition in this series, is now that we know that we're not going to create businesses, we're going to create projects, and we're going to niche at the project level, you might be wondering, okay, well, how do I actually choose a niche? I know that it means going a little bit more defined, but how do I do it in a way that actually feels interesting and doesn't feel limiting? So I'm going to be covering that in the next edition in this series. I'm going to show you how to go 3 layers deep and how to infuse your niche with something that makes people want to talk about it, that when you mention it at a dinner party, they think, oh my gosh, I need to talk to this person more about this. That's not when you know you're on a winner with your niche. So make sure you subscribe for the next edition in this series. By the end of this particular series, you're going to have a complete handle on how to have these magnetic personal brands that people are just attracted to because you baked the buzz right into them. And I'm really excited to share more. All right, guys, until the next edition, I'll see you then.